It's time for change at the polls. That's what Virginia election officials are saying. They've seen an audit that shows irregularities with polling machines across the state. Governor Terry McAuliffe called for an investigation in November after a number of issues were reported with touchscreen voting machines. One of those problem cities was Virginia Beach, which has already started making some changes. And that's where we find 10 on your side's Joe Fisher. He's now live with the details. Joe?
Yeah, Chris, this is the first ever report done post-election by the Department of Elections in the history of Virginia. And in this report, it cites a number of problems, one of which is just plain old, very old polling systems. That's the case here in Virginia Beach. Their polls were just too old. They have since November of 2014 have gotten all new polls, and they say they hope they will never have to repeat the problems they had last fall. This video, sent in to 10 on your side in November, shows a Virginia Beach voter trying to cast their ballot, but the polling machine defaulting to another candidate.
We tested everything prior to Election Day. Everything was fine on these machines that we issued for Election Day. 27 machines ended up being pulled from service in Virginia Beach that day. Registrar Donna Patterson says calibration and alignment problems were to blame. Those findings are outlined in a new report released after a 3-month audit of polling machines around the state.
And so as the equipment ages, it just starts to exhibit these problems, and it's at the point where it's, it really needs to be replaced because it's just old and it's past its useful life.
Virginia Beach has since done away with their old systems. In their place, 240 new paper-based systems. Patterson says it's a $1.4 million investment.
Voters are going to vote on a paper ballot, and they're going to feed it into a digital scanner. So voters will, when they fill out that circle, they'll know that's exactly that's exactly how their vote's going to go.
Election Commissioner Edgardo Cortez says there's also, quote, serious security concerns with wireless voting machines. It's a system used by 1/5 of all Virginia voters, and it's prone to cyber attacks, the report says.
This is a potential problem we've identified, a potential vulnerability. We want to address it as quickly as possible so it doesn't lead to a real issue with security of the system on Election Day.
Cortez says one option is doing away with all wireless polling systems. It's a plan, he says, that could be an inconvenience for the upcoming primary.
Would require localities to purchase pretty immediately, purchase new equipment.
And Cortez tells me that the election board will meet in the next 2 weeks, within the next 2 weeks, before making any final recommendations. One other recommendation in the report calls for more regular quality assurance checks on these polls to make sure they are up and operational. Here in Virginia Beach, they tell me their new systems will be ready to go by the primary on June 9th. For now, we're live in Virginia Beach. Joe Fisher, 10 on your side.